Hello and welcome to the Discomfort Zone, the show that gets you comfortable with the uncomfortable. On today's show, we shared an amazing story from one of our inspirational clients about her journey.
We talked all about how to get started and how to overcome those obstacles that are so often in our way. And we think about some really good challenges along the way as well to keep you in that process.
And more importantly, I learn about Gemma and Matt's upbringing with vaginas.
Hello and welcome everybody. You're listening to Matt, Nadiva and Gemma on the Discomfort Zone, the show that helps you get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Whether you are somebody who is looking to improve in the gym, whether you lack motivation, or if you're just somebody somewhere in the middle, then this is the podcast that you never knew you needed.
Oh, yes.
You like that, don't you? I love this
Love
energy.
that.
It's Friday. Woo!
Friday, yeah.
And Saturday, Sunday,
What?
and Friday again.
Yeah.
That's such a good workout song, by the way.
Good. So good.
It is. But you know the worst, the worst thing about that song is the advert.
Advert?
I just sold my car, so we buy. And
Oh,
also,
now I'm going to be hearing
right,
that the whole
and I feel like
time.
anyone now listening in their head is going, oh, I can't believe you said that, because now all I can hear is,
All I
just
see is the
sold my
YouTube video
car.
of the guy hyping the guy up. He gets out the car and he walks alongside
Yeah,
of the car.
yeah,
and
but
he's
that's what the advert does.
Hype. Really?
Yeah, so they
They've-
get out
they've
the car.
commercialised it.
Have you never seen how have you never seen We Buy Any Car?
I
All
just
the
love-
kids sing it at school. Ella sings it. She asked me if she could get out the car and do the walking alongside it thing.
I'm one of those weirdos that doesn't watch much TV. I'm a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah,
like
but it's
that.
on the radio.
I don't listen to the radio either.
Wait, next you're going to say, and I don't listen to podcasts.
I
In
love
fairness,
podcasts.
He
I
only,
love
he only
podcasts.
just joined Instagram the other day.
Like,
so
yeah.
we'll give you benefit of the doubt.
We had to
Next
teach
week-
Matt how to do a post last week, didn't we?
We did. I've got many skills, but social media is not one of them. Until this week. Now I'm pretty good. Anyway, we're dropping into the show.
Yeah,
It's not all
guys.
It's about all of us, right? So
It
let's
is.
check in. Let's check in with each other. How are we all doing? How you doing listening into the show? How are you doing, Gemma?
Yeah, I'm okay, except I have a broken finger. Fingers,
Fingers.
plural, which is highly annoying and is a dog-related incident. For anyone thinking of getting a boxer, don't.
No, you love your
I love my boxer. I also loved having 5 working fingers. I now currently have 3. So let's see where that goes. Matt, are you okay?
I'm all healthy. I've got all my fingers working. I'm doing pretty good.
10 fingers, 10 toes.
10 fingers, 10 toes, all working pretty well.
Great.
But Nadiva, I mean, I can, like, the energy from you today is like
I wish
palpable,
people could see my
buzzing.
face. They can't.
No, that's probably a good thing. Also, she's wearing a hat, so...
It's Friday and I need
You know
to
what?
wash
She's
my
done
hair.
one podcast and thinks she's suddenly Paris Hilton and can't walk down the
It's
street.
Friday. It's hair wash day.
It is hair wash day.
Girl needs to cover her hair. Anyway, I am so good today because we have had the most amazing feedback from one of our nutrition clients.
Ooh.
And not only that, she has sent the most... I actually got emotional reading this message when she sent it to me. So I just have to share it for all of you and also Matt and Jem because I don't think you've listened to this. So one of our clients has just finished her 6-week program with us. We offer nutrition plans. Okay.
This is not a plug, but
This
it
is
is
not
a plug.
but this is...
It is a plug. Plug it
This
away.
is everything. This message just encompasses everything that Gemma and I say to all of our clients and what actually we try and do ourselves and believe in. So this is how it goes. Okay. Nadiva asked me to write 3 points about my journey on the nutrition plan, but I have so many positive things to say that there was no way I could fit it into 3 points. I started the nutrition plan as a way to lose weight and ended on it becoming a lifestyle. The changes I have made over just a few months have been amazing. I have lost weight, started running 3 times a week and drinking more water than I've ever done in my lifetime. Nadiva has helped motivate me to make these changes and be my champion throughout. Even when things weren't perfect, she made me see the wins in what I was doing, which kept me motivated. She has taught me that it is not all about monitoring your food, but also doing exercise and self-care. I hated exercise and was the first to make my excuses about not having time, but I have realized that you can always find time for what is important and what you want. And I actually enjoy my runs now. I still have bad days where all I want is a big bag of sweets, but again, Nadiva has made me understand that everything in moderation and one bad day doesn't need to ruin all the good things I have achieved. It's not always easy and I've still progress to make, but I now know what I'm doing and just need to keep going myself. Although I know that the girls will always be there if I need. Thank you, girls. I've loved our weekly chats and forever grateful for your help in getting me to such a good place. I mean, running at 8 a.m., who even am I? How amazing is that? I'm actually tearing up just reading that again, but it literally made my day.
Oh,
How nice.
Well done, guys.
Thank
well
you.
done, listener.
Well
'Cause
done,
that's
guys.
incredible.
Well done, you. You know who you are, hopefully. If you're not listening, you should be.
We'll just have to send her this episode.
Yeah,
so that she-
exactly.
Listen to this one.
Well, amazing. Like she's changed her lifestyle, she's saying, and self-love and self-care, being kind to herself and pushing herself.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
incredible.
I think she's an amazing example of somebody who didn't do a lot before and didn't go into this journey thinking they suddenly needed to do everything. She was somebody who had two very clear focuses, which is teach me how to understand nutrition better and teach me how to not dread exercise. And those are two really easy goals to think about first, because it wasn't about coming to us and saying, okay, I want to do a 10-kilometer run in June. It was about saying, how do I get my head in the game? How do I start to think about things differently? And how do I start to see progress? Because she knew the minute she would start to see a little bit of change and progress, that's the motivation she needs to then get, the kind of the consistency that we talk about all the time, about being consistent, not about being a marathon, not about being a sprint. It's about a marathon. So yeah, she's just a wonderful example of somebody who listened to what we had to say.
Also, I feel like the key word that she used there is lifestyle.
Yes.
It is not a diet. It is not a quick fix. It is not something that you do it for X amount of time and you get the results and then that's it, you're done. We want for ourselves, but also for our clients, is to realize that it is a lifestyle and finding ways and tools that we give them to make this a lifestyle habit. And
Yeah.
not just a once off. 'Cause you can do it.
What I've heard from her is it sounds like that's something she's going to stick to. This
And
doesn't sound
it
like
is achievable.
a 6-week plan.
Yeah.
That it fits in with life. They know the 1% we spoke about last time. Another version of that is people talk about the aggregation of marginal gains. Like every time it gains a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until she wakes up at 8 a.m. looking forward to run.
Can I just explain that story though?
Go on.
Because she called me to say that she got to work early and had her trainers in her car, and she put her trainers on and ran round where her school is, and then went in to teach.
Wow.
She didn't even plan to go running. It just fell into place. How
Wow.
amazing.
You never know when the bug might just hit you.
Yeah.
And you just got to go. I mean, Forrest Gump did it. He just
And
kept going.
Just kept going. That's exactly what he
Don't
said.
think that's going to happen to this client. However,
You
never
say
know.
that.
You never know. She could be the next Forrest.
And I also think people assume that you either do something because you love it or you do something because you're good at it. And there is something else in there, which is you do something because you want to start getting better. And those things take time. So the first time you put your trainers on and you try and go for a run, you might hate it, or you might only do.
I mean, you probably will hate it.
You might
It's gonna be
hate it,
tough.
but you
Yeah.
might
It's gonna
not
be
hate
tough.
it as much as you think you hate it. But the point is, it's something that you try and you try it again, and then you do a little bit more again, and then next time you're thinking about getting out and sitting down, maybe you think, oh, instead of sitting down, my trainers are in my car, I'll go for a 5-minute jog or a 10-minute run. You might put our podcast on and listen to it while you're running.
You will.
You will put our podcast on and listen to it when you're running, because it's a great distraction. But I'm sure you, Matthew, probably have some very good techniques for getting people started that we are just looking at it from a physical way. But
Well, I think we'd probably say very similar things. I mean, one
are
thing.
you cold?
Yeah, why are you dressed for winter?
Yeah, you look like
I'm
you're wearing a
boiling.
fleece.
I'm in a merino top, and it breathes and keeps you warm at the same time. It's wonderful.
Oh.
Shout out to Isobar.
Matthew's
Okay.
going on a 30K
We are
hike
so
after
going to get
this.
different products.
We're going to get very different products. Right. One of
Eric
the things
Pickles.
that
We
clearly
love
comes
you,
up
Eric
in all my
Pickles.
work, and I imagine in yours, is this myth that you need motivation before you begin. There's a myth that you need to feel motivated to do something before you start. And in all of treatment in the mental health world, but it comes in any goal attainment, activation comes before motivation. That's what you need to get your head around. You need to begin to do stuff. Get the positive feedback in your body. Get the physical hormones of I go for a run and I feel some nice feelings afterwards. Yeah, I get the dopamine, I get a hit reward, and I also feel like I've got a really good sense of mastery afterwards. The more you do, the more you activate, motivation follows, because the good hormones in your body start become associated with the activity. So don't wait till you feel like, oh, now I want to start. You get started. That's how you get started. You make the decision.
Like buy a new pair of trainers.
And these are the small incremental changes, right? Buy a pair of trainers. What did you say about you get your shoes out? You said this other day, like you your shoes out and you put them in the car, or you put them.
No, so if I know I need to go to the gym and I haven't been to the gym, and I often have it at the end of a long day, what I tend to do is early in the morning, go to the gym and put my house keys in a locker, then lock it, go to work, do whatever I need to do. So I know that I cannot get home without going to the gym to pick up my keys. So it forces me into the gym setting.
And once you're there,
you think, I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm in the gym. What you actually think is, God, it's really embarrassing if the guy in reception sees me walk in and walk out within 2 minutes and not look like I've done anything. So yeah, I used to do that more. So I used to lock my keys in the locker.
Wow.
And make sure that that's where I had to go to.
It's like extreme accountability. I have to show up because I can't not show up. I have
because
to go
then
home.
I'm locked out.
I'm not going home.
Yeah, but there's different ways: leaving your trainers by the door, getting your gym stuff out the night before, making sure that you're giving yourself the easiest pathway to get to where you need to be as possible.
That's a big one, because there's a thing about decision fatigue in life. There's only decisions we have to make in our modern day world. Strip it back so that you don't have to make any decisions in the morning.
Yeah.
You know which class you're going to and what you're going to wear. You're going. You're walking out the door.
Yeah.
Well, for me, if it's not in my diary with an alarm set, it won't happen.
Yeah.
Like I have to prioritize it into my diary, and then I get that flash reminder, and then I'm there.
So getting started from your side.
That just wouldn't work for me.
Putting it in your diary, getting things out the night. What do you say to your clients? And they're like, I'm having a tricky time getting started. What would you say to them?
Just start.
Just start. What does that look like?
So it looks like not starting at the end. So what I mean by that is, don't start by saying, I need to get a 60-minute workout in today. Don't worry about how it's going to look. Just worry about how it's going to feel. So just go and do something. Start walking. You might find that you're enjoying it and you'll keep going for another 20 minutes. Start running. You might find you're enjoying it and you might keep going. But you might also decide, okay, I've had enough, but next time I can do a bit more. Don't decide you need 60 minutes in the gym. Just go to the gym and see what happens. You need to have a plan, because having a plan keeps you accountable. Write down the workouts you're going to do in the gym. But if you don't get all of it done, then that's fine. It's just about getting started. I'm a really bad example of my own advice, because there are lots of things I currently want to do in my life, and I sort of think I don't really know where to start. And maybe I've literally, just in what you've said in the last 5 minutes, has got me thinking that maybe I just need to start.
Or just strip it back and start with one thing versus 50.
But just get started, and then the plan might come together once you start, rather than trying to get everything in order. Because no matter what you do, someone said this to me once, you're never going to have everything line up to be perfect, right? Nothing's ever going to line up so that everything is clear and then you can make a very clear decision. It's going to be a little bit blurry.
Absolutely. I think if you're moving forward, I think the biggest thing about like setting a goal, which is helpful, is setting a direction of travel. If you know you want to head in a certain direction, that's really helpful. I think goals in and of themselves aren't the end product. It's like gets you to where you want to go. They're stepping stones along the way.
But with that, it's setting realistic goals.
Yeah.
Don't set yourself like a short-term goal that is unrealistic, because you'll then just beat yourself up about it that you haven't achieved that goal, and then you're never going to go back to it. So strip it back and be realistic in the goals that you're setting.
The literature says it's far more important to have a process in place or a system in place rather than focus on the goals. So they say get your system sorted, get your process sorted, and the goals will sort themselves out. So like say to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym twice a week. Have a good why as well. Because I really want to be active, because I want to make sure I'm really active for my kids, or I want to be really healthy into my 60s and 70s so I can be there for my grandkids, or my wedding's next year and I make sure I'm feeling really good about myself. Have a really clear why, and then have a how. So I'm just going to turn up well, a couple of times a week, be kind to myself in the process. So do or don't turn up, that's okay. But the bigger process is I know I'm doing it. Then the rest will follow. It sounds like if people sign up for your classes and have a good community with them that help them show up and it's fun and it's engaging and they all know where I'm here and I know where I'm here because this is in my goals, then you get people come back every week, don't you? Like multiple times a week to your classes.
Yeah, and actually what's been amazing is they have themselves created their own community.
Really?
Without
They're all
us.
WhatsApping
So they're
each
all on
other.
WhatsApp groups and they say, okay, who's going tonight? And if someone says, oh, I don't know, they encourage each other and say, oh, come on, it's going to be fun. We'll all do it together. Or, okay, well, let's all do it tomorrow and we'll push each other. And just as much as they push each other, they're also really nice to each other. So if someone's having a bad day, they're very good at supporting each other. And one thing I spoke about a lot with my clients, to your point that we've been thinking about, for me, is finding your why. So why are you doing it? Because I want to feel better. I want to feel stronger. I've had a bad day. If I don't leave the house, I'm going to punch my husband. I'm going to scream. That's a good why. The other one is find the joy. So do it and find the joy in whatever you're doing. The joy might not be the workout or the joy might not be the exercise, but the joy might be knowing afterwards I did it and now I feel really happy about myself. Or the joy might be in putting on those jeans and thinking, yeah, I actually feel really confident. So for me, it's more find the joy than find the why, but I get why you also say find the why. Find the why joy.
Find the
I was thinking
Find
about getting
both.
that tattooed on me. Find the
why
joy.
joy.
Talking about that, we still need to do that.
We do need to book my tattoo, but find the joy. Maybe I'll get that tattooed.
Well, it's like this is like breaking science. This is breaking news.
Go on.
Breaking news is that if you can find the joy, they've done latest neuroscience, polyvagal theory, if you really want to dive deep, but they've found out people will be interested. Stephen Porges' work. If you're really interested, Stephen Porges.
Oh, I bet he's friends with Eric Pickles. Porgy and Pickle. Can you imagine him?
What a name.
Oh, I want to watch the adventures of Porgy and Pickle.
He's found the most amazing things about our bodies and how they work. Basically, as human beings, we have this amazing nerve in us that means we cannot experience joy and fear at the same time. So,
What?
Yeah. So if you're experiencing joy, really pure joy in the moment, it shuts off our fear danger protective system. So chasing joy is a wonderful thing because do you know that moment where you can turn someone, shift around, their mood around, or in your sessions, maybe the whooping at the end? In that moment where they're in joy, they physically cannot be in a fear state. They can't be. That's the way. It's a remarkable thing about human bodies.
Wow. So can we turn this into a therapy session for me for a sec?
Okay.
No,
For
this
everyone
is
listening.
this is really. So this is a bit deep. So I don't know if people know this, but I had cancer, and that was nearly 5 years ago now. And the thing I struggle with the most since that day, or since I've had my diagnosis, is don't let myself get too happy. Every time I start to feel like happy, so that's I'm enjoying something too much, whether it's a holiday or whether it's just life in general, I check myself and I try and think of something that stops me being happy.
Why?
Because I'm scared if I'm too happy, then something's going to come and crash it all down. So I don't want myself to get too happy. But maybe I do need to get to that happy place. I just think if I'm too positive and enjoying something too much, then something bad's going to happen. Is that the same thing?
But then you're not enjoying the happy moments.
Yeah, I know.
You're
So
not letting yourself
Yeah.
actually enjoy it and
Yeah.
live.
I know.
It's completely logical, and I get it, and actually completely understandable.
Is that what you're saying though, or no?
It's a similar but different thing. It's
Oh, sorry.
no, but it's important because
150 quid for these sessions, guys.
at least.
Use discount code the Discomfort Zone.
But I think lots of people find themselves holding back in life on things. And wow, we're getting to a deep place right now. But I think let's go there for a second because it's important. Because I don't think you're alone here. Lots of people hold back from really big emotions because what is it going to take me to? And the research says if you lean into vulnerability, if you go to that place, you can also be more joyful at the same time. So, but I think in my point beforehand, so leaning into the vulnerability does allow you to have more joy.
Right.
But just do the 1% thing as well. How can I make this moment how can I just be a little bit more present in the joy of this tiny little thing? When you're with your son, with my dog, and we're playing tug of war, let's just be like, for 2 minutes, let's just be really, really in the moment, have a lot of fun. Be present, having fun. Fun is another word for it. Playfulness, another word for it. Joy. Yeah, shared joy is the best one, where it's with another person. So like in your class, I guess if people are really in that place where they're having a lot of fun together, of course their lives are also going to be, lots of people are affected by cancer, death, suffering. You know, the Buddha said the only 3 things in life that you're certain of are death, aging, and illness, suffering. Those are the only things that are certainties in life.
Jeez.
So, but that's why life is so magical, because also life is beautiful. But those things are definitely true as well. So you kind of have to embrace it all.
Have you had your psychedelics today?
Have I had mine? Not today.
Life is beautiful, yeah.
But with that, I do find I struggle that if you're having a really bad day, but there is some things that are going really well, it's hard to
She keeps tapping on the table. It's driving me nuts.
Sorry. It's hard to hone in on the good times because your mind just goes straight to the negatives that's going on that day. So I could have a really crap day and something amazing could happen, but I negate that and concentrate on all the shit.
Okay, we've been talking about this, right? And we talked about challenge of the week. And I don't know if we're going to challenge of the week, because I'll just go straight in with my challenge to you guys.
Take it, go for it.
One of the challenges was around, we talked about this lovely, feedback you've got, testimonial you've got, and how hard it is for all of us. We're all human beings. It's actually really hard as a human being to accept praise. It's really hard. Like, I definitely get that. I'm sure if you're listening, do you find it hard to accept praise? Sometimes? Yeah. Why not? Of course, it's a thing about us. But so my thing was challenge of the week. Right. It's really hard to take in really nice praise. But if you never listen to it, if you don't let yourself, then you discount it. And it's like it never happened. So my challenge for you both and for you listening is every time you get a bit of praise, because I'm sure it happens, you may not be aware of it, but to tune into it is to write it down. Put it into your phone as a note and start building this note of all these things that have been said about you. And don't do anything with it. You don't have to do anything with it other than start making that collection.
Shall I give you a compliment then?
No, I hate it.
Shall I give her a compliment?
No.
And actually, what you're doing right now is another really good thing about compliments. We're going on praise, by the way. So another really good way, if someone finds it very hard to hear praise directly to them, make sure you praise them, but they're in earshot. Nice thing to do with your family and your loved ones. So tell me, what's so great about Nadiva? Because she can hear it. She doesn't have to respond to it.
What's so great about Nadiva?
Yeah.
Okay. What is so great about Nadiva?
You were just about to say
I was going to give you a compliment, which is that I think you are extremely loyal and you are an extremely good business partner, and I feel very grateful to have you. And I know if I'm ever having a crappy day or I'm not feeling a bit tired, you will always be there to say, I'll take it, don't worry. People ask me all the time, do we really get on? Because we look like we get on quite a lot on social media, but is it like behind the cameras? I'm like, that bitch.
But I have to say, I'm so blessed that we get on so well. Because it would be like, genuinely.
Oh my gosh, she's actually amazed.
I really am. Because you never know when you're starting a business with someone, you never know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's true.
And there is this rule of you never go into business with friends.
Or family.
Or family.
Yeah.
But since going into business, which hasn't even been a year yet, just FYI, I genuinely count you as like one of my really good friends. And it's really nice.
Yeah,
I mean, it helps that we're very similar.
We are similar, but we're also quite different.
Yeah.
Sometimes being similar is the hardest thing. So, okay, so we know I said about the challenge is to write it down and record it. Well, we've now got a podcast where we've recorded exactly what was just said just then.
That's true.
You don't have to listen back to it. But I'm just saying, don't discount it. Because the thing about praise and things like that, okay, let's go back to fitness. Let's do the fitness thing. Right, so going back to fitness and saying all the progress that people make in the gym. The point is, if they don't let themselves like register how well they're doing, you just keep focusing on what you didn't do well.
Yes.
Because that's what we're
or what you're not at yet.
Where we're not, yes.
Yeah. That's a big one.
And I think with that, that's why we get our clients to take pictures of themselves, because if they're constantly doing the same thing and they're constantly looking in the mirror and they're not seeing the results, we can go back to them and be like, yeah, but 6 weeks ago, look at the difference from now to 6 weeks. Who cares what the scales say? Who cares? Look at the pictures and look at the clothes, and like you're saying with compliments, everybody is telling you look amazing.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that and roll with it.
But what's really interesting is the pictures don't always show a difference in body, but they show a huge difference in the way they stand.
And their face.
Yes.
Their smile. They're glowing.
Someone might take a picture, that first picture in their underwear, they look like someone's put them in a lineup for some kind of murder trial.
Mugshot.
They all stand there really still like, oh God, like really uncomfortable.
Exposed.
So exposed. We do one from the front, one from the back, and people don't like having to see themselves. And as the weeks go on, you see the way that people stand, the way that they hold their shoulders, it's different. Nadiva and I did a photo shoot together, and we had trained really hard for it. I had shredded. I got so dehydrated to try and look really cut without water. The next night went out.
Point, it was also 40 degrees on the day.
Yeah, it was absolutely boiling.
And there was no air
in a gym
conditioning
with
in
no.
this gym. It was revolting.
Anyway, it
So
was.
you did the whole pre-fight sauna scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then got into the studio and the fitness photographer was there and he's like, just relax. And we're both like, okay. And the pictures from the beginning, again, they look like
Shoulders were in our ears.
Yeah, it was so awkward.
That Chandler from Friends smile.
Yeah. Fast forward an hour and a half in, it looked like we've been doing it for 10 years. He kept going, God, you look amazing. And every time he said it, it was like, oh, wow. And then every time someone would walk past and go, oh, wow, girls, you look great. You know, it really fuels you to do it. So the pictures are really important. And maybe this is a challenge for people listening. Take pictures of yourself, not to see how you're doing week by week. Those are important, but also just to see how you can start to get into the process of feeling comfortable and more confident and seeing that if you look more confident, people will say to you, God, you look great, because you're smiling more and you're walking stronger and you're standing taller and you're giving off the vibe that like, hey, I'm rocking life and I'm great. And you might be focused on getting to 9 stone or losing another stone and a half, but what you're not focusing on is what you've already done and what you've already achieved. And I can promise you that if you feel better, you will look better. Feel better mentally and feel better physically, you will just look better, because you won't stand with those shoulders hunched and you won't stand hiding yourself. It's just amazing to see some of the changes.
Well, with that, we've had that with one of our clients because the scales didn't move for a week. But then her next comment was, but I feel amazing. I'm sleeping better. I'm happier. I've got more energy. And she said she's so proud of what she's done, forgetting about what the numbers are saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you said last time, actually. And that's the thing about the goals is kind of forget the micro goals almost, because actually the proof is in the feedback that if you're feeling better, then life's, like you said, life looks good on you. Like people look like they're shining or they're feeling really, full of life and probably not what Goop does for you and probably not what we did, all those other strategies. Actually, you feel better in yourself and you actually enjoy living your life. That's kind of important.
Yeah. No one needs a vagina candle to feel good.
Oh, that's awkward because I kind of bought you one for your birthday in a few weeks' time. Okay, shipped over.
I could take a vagina candle. Do you know what? My whole life has been full of vaginas. We could explain
There's
it.
a pause on that one.
There's a pause.
Do we do a follow-up question?
Our mum is a sex therapist.
I did not know that.
Did you not?
No.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
I thought she's
she's
a
a
news reporter.
She was.
Hence the posh accent.
She was.
She was before she was
I
a
did
sex
not know she was a
therapist.
sex therapist.
And then she thought, do you know what?
Yeah.
From one broadcast industry to another. Sex and porn. No, I'm joking. She didn't do porn. She was a sex therapist, and
we need to get her on the show.
she's got some very interesting anecdotes. But she used, again, I've completely off tangent, but she would talk about vaginas and penises.
Behind the couch, we would have an A1
Vagina?
No, like a diagram of vaginas and penises.
So
and
I took it to school once and I got suspended because I remember this. Okay, I took
Was
it
it
out
the
for
frogs you took?
No, she had it was A4 pages bound together of different pictures of penises to basically, I guess, show people that all dicks look normal. But I took it to an all-girls school and one girl fainted and then I got sent home for 2 days. But my point was, do you remember she had a painting made? One of her clients made her a painting of a vagina.
That was the payment, yeah.
And it was all in different colours. And she kept explaining, she mum was like, do you know what this bit is? We're like, yep, that's good. Thanks. She was like, the red is where she feels her passion.
Oh, God.
And the yellow is where she's not quite feeling as good in herself. So whether it's your body or your vagina, I think everybody feels self-doubt and control. But I've had a lot of vagina in my life and I don't need any more.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
What an upbringing.
Yeah. We had a whole library in our study of books called like The Joy of Sex or
What's that TV show?
Sex Education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
It was
your
a bit
mum
like that,
the
but she's like a
therapist from Sex
posh.
Education?
She's like a posh Barbara Streisand. So she wouldn't be like, "Oh, what's your problem?" She'd be like, "Oh dear,
What's your problem,
what
darling?
seems to be the issue?" With enunciation on the S because I've learned to speak like a newsreader.
My piano teacher was very, very posh. He was aristocracy, and he would speak in the, oh gosh, what's the tense called? I can't remember the tense. It's one of those tenses you learn in Spanish and French. But he would, every sentence would be like, if you were to be, would be like a start of a sentence. If you were to.
Right.
Very, very posh guy.
Yeah.
I love Peter.
He was
and
a
there's
nice guy.
Gemma, who sounds like she's from Essex.
I do. My mum is from Essex. She
We
just
are
don't
from
have
Essex.
to.
You
We are.
wouldn't know.
No.
You wouldn't know. Anyways, from vaginas to anywhere else we should go with vaginas today?
Questions about vaginas
Yes.
or questions about other things?
Send that in and we can talk
You
about
can,
vaginas
yeah.
next week.
Also, if anyone has any, we could bring mum on here. If anyone's got any questions about
I want you to bring your mum on
what I
here.
would say, actually, is that people that say they work out more also do say that they have a better sex life
I'm sure that's true.
because
Yeah.
they feel more confident in their bodies. Well, that is a good
Apparently
point, though.
apparently the London Olympics, they ran out of condoms
Really?
in the Olympic
Oh,
Village.
in the Olympic Village.
Because one thing about being very, very, they've done all their working out and they're incredibly the highest performance peak of human activity mixed with all other lots of people who are very, very attractive and also very, very fit. And once they finished their events, they apparently just had loads and loads of sex, completely ran
Good
out of
for
all the
them.
condoms.
Yeah, do you know
Good
what?
for
Probably is
them.
quite a good stress relief.
Well, it is. It's one of the basic stress reliefs is sex, food, and eating. Those are the basic
Good
stress
fitness.
relievers.
I'd rather have a burger.
Would you?
No, don't eat meat.
Exactly.
A vegan
beyond
burger. Yeah, I'd rather have a vegan burger. But it's true. If you feel good and you are thinking about yourself in like the context of relationships or like just feeling really confident, then like, yeah, why not?
But do you know what?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Sex.
Have a vegan burger.
And then have sex.
And then have sex because do you know
Or
what?
do both at the same time.
Have sex with your partner. It's super important.
While eating a burger. Careful of the cheese sauce.
Oh.
Oh. Question of the week, guys. Okay,
Sorry,
so we had some
sorry.
questions. Right, so shall I read out some questions we've got and you
Go
guys can
for it,
answer?
Matt.
expert
Yeah,
panelists?
okay, go for it. I'm a bit hot under the collar now. Didn't think this was going to be a sex podcast.
Okay, so I've got one from. Okay, I've got one. It says here, right, asking you guys all about how gym culture has been changing over time for women and fitness as a whole, and their sense that is it more about, or have we lost the idea of it being about being skinny anymore? Is it about wellness or something different? What do you guys have to say?
Yeah, I mean, there was a recent thing, wasn't there, with Khloe Kardashian, where she got super skinny again and people were calling her heroin chic. So it's that like heroin look, heroin addict, not being a heroin.
Or Ozempic.
Or Ozempic, yeah. So people, that kind of, initially what the Kardashians did was like, love them or hate them, they were amazing for body positivity because all of a sudden in came these women who were curvy and had boobs and had like bums and hips and at the time were all natural and it was amazing. Then it all went too far and the hips got bigger and the bums got bigger and the waist got smaller and the boobs got whatever and it's not realistic anymore. But they did for a while set the tone of, okay, it was this really tall, skinny look into real curvy look. And it got people wanting to achieve that body and getting themselves into the gym and looking at being stronger rather than being skinny. And strong girls are attractive. I think being strong is attractive. I don't think that society is not there yet in terms of not looking at skinniness as a negative thing because also some people are naturally skinny, right? So you also don't want to alienate the people that are naturally very slim, but it is far more focused on getting into the gym than it is around not eating. I think people look at what people now, if you're looking on social media, you've got women filming their workouts rather than women not filming what they're eating or women not eating. Or drinking a quick celery juice and that it for the day.
Have you found your clients' motivations have changed or their goals have changed? Then,
especially for new clients that have been coming in recently, they want the toned look. They don't want to have a thigh gap or have a really flat stomach. They want muscle. They want
Yeah.
they want to know how to build muscle. And
Arms.
I do find also that a lot of clients come in who are completely uneducated in that department and say, oh, but I don't want to look like a man. Like, if I lift a dumbbell, am I then going to look like a man? And they have no idea that actually that's not possible. They're not going to get massive arms because women aren't built that way. But it's about understanding and the nutrition side that goes with it, and educating yourself that protein and a good diet is going to help get the toned look that they want.
That must be such a fine balancing act, though, or such a thing to navigate of like, I want to feel feminine and sexy, and I want to feel strong and build muscle. And that doesn't need to be problematic, but I can imagine with all the cultural lenses, that might be problematic for some people, thinking, how do I fit all the boxes and how do I be me and how do I feel good about me with all these different messages of
well,
what I'm
social
meant to
media
look
doesn't
like?
help with that at all, because for every one reel that people see of strong women lifting weights, there's another reel of someone looking like they need to eat.
Yeah, but I think to go back to the point you just made, almost contradicting yourself. People don't say, I want to look feminine and sexy, but I also want to lift weights and be strong. Now you want to lift weights and be strong to look feminine and sexy.
That's what I mean.
It's
The
one
idea
thing.
of femininity, masculinity, everything's changing now. The idea 20 years ago would look very different of what an elegant woman looks like. It would be very different now. It's like, I think my sense from social media, although we get it, I don't know that much, but my sense from that,
Your full 1 week of being on it.
1 week, is that strong is sexy, and that's actually what lots of people are searching for, and lots of people want to be like. You know, even like fitness models seems a really big thing. Like even your industry, you know, like people are searching, looking bigger, stronger, faster, because of course, that is sexy.
And I think with that, I'm finding my clients more confident into going into what I call testosterone corner in the gym. The men's corner.
The lifting corner.
The lifting
right.
corner. They're like, actually, I can go in. I feel confident to go in and lift weights. It's not that they're women and therefore they shouldn't be seen or in there lifting a weight because it's just the men's zone.
I think the gym environment has changed. It used to be that you'd go to the cardio section and you'd have 10 women running on a treadmill, and you'd go to the weight section and you'd have 10 men like grunting, wearing t-shirts that actually don't even cover the nipples, so why even wearing a t-shirt, and all like geeing each other on, like grunting. That doesn't work. That's not what gyms look like anymore. Gyms look like a place where people are on a very equal playing field, and there will always be people who want skinny girls, and there will always be women who want jacked men. It's choice. Just make the right choice for you. If you want to lift a weight, lift a weight. You're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but what you will do is you're going to feel great. So why not? And why not be the best, strongest version that you can be of yourself? And if that makes you happy, then do it. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. I mean, I'm doing a bodybuilding competition, hopefully, in October, and I have to put on weight for it. That's really hard for me mentally. I've put on 2 kilos, and not one person has said to me, oh, you look like you've put on weight. If anything, I think I look good for it. Maybe we should do like a weekly measure my bicep or bum or something, see how it's growing. But it's, you know, it's cool. I like it. I love feeling strong. I love seeing how much more I can push. I love seeing what we can achieve. I think I said this to you about Ross Edgley being uncomfortable and him saying like what suffering is. And he's a guy that pushed himself to swim the Loch Ness.
Of many other things, he also swam around the whole of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, so one pissy little lake is nothing. But, you know, whatever, it's a quick little lake. But when he was swimming and he swam for 48 hours straight and people said to him, are you okay? Like, how are you doing this? How are you so uncomfortable? How are you okay with the suffering? He said, this isn't suffering. My dad dying was suffering. I am making this as a choice. He was suffering because he was lying in bed thinking, all I want to do is go swim in that lake. And here I am swimming in the lake thinking I can push myself as hard as I can, but this is a choice. It's the same with lifting a weight. It's a choice, but it makes you feel great. And there'll be a day where we will find that a little bit harder, and we'll wish for the day that we were able to do it with ease. So why not make that day today?
And if you can push yourself to be a little bit more comfortable with the uncomfortable in the gym, I'm sure other areas of life feel much easier to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Wow. What a line to end on. Being comfortable with the uncomfortable.
That's it.
What the discomfort zone brings.
That is exactly what the discomfort zone is all about. And it's useful to think as you go through this week by week listening, keep thinking about those situations where you found yourself uncomfortable before. Think about why you were uncomfortable, and maybe think about the next time you find yourself in that situation, how you can check yourself and give yourself a bit better advice to be okay, not being okay.
Love it.
Yeah? Thanks, guys.
No, but send us your uncomfortable moments. We'd love,
Ooh, yes,
funny
please,
or
yeah.
not funny. We want to hear
Yes.
your uncomfortable moments.
Please
and we will read
do.
them out.
Exactly. Send them in and we will share them anonymously on the podcast.
Okay, so what do people have to do? They have to like, subscribe.
Exactly. Like the podcast, like our individual Instagrams, Nadiva, Gemma Fit.
Thank you, Nadiva. Mine is Dr. Matt Slavin, at Dr. Matt Slavin on socials.
Yep, exactly. So
And our YouTube channel.
and our YouTube channel, please go and follow the Discomfort Zone on YouTube. And yeah, thank you for listening. Tune in next week and have a fantastic week being comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Bye, guys.
Bye.